everyone, Cat here, your favorite ginger bibliophile, with the little man that you're really here for. Yes. Well, thank you. You gonna sit and be sweet, or you gonna plot on me and then go back to guard duty? Mm. Okay. They've been kind of butt heads lately, 'cause it's been cold, so there's a little kitty house on the porch and some food for, any sweet little strays that I can't bring in. And this butthole and his big sister, well, big little sister, have been picking on Nala and Fluffy knockoff Nala. Haven't you? Nala's still a sweetheart that lets me pet her, but I'm pretty sure she belongs to the neighbors. I haven't caught them outside to ask. I know one of them does, I think. Because they were getting into it over who has dibs on this yard, and neighbors called for one of them, and they both split. So, yes. And Fluffy knockoff came by today, and y'all had to get in trouble again. But hopefully y'all are having a good one, and we are going to do the Bella Italia Tag, created by Emily at the Linguist Library and Daniela at Uncommon Reader. And I was tagged by Pat over at Book Chat with Pat. We're off to a great start. And I'm gonna have to get very creative with these prompts because a lot of them are out of my wheelhouse, but I think I can get a little sneaky with some of these. So we're gonna get into it. All roads lead to Rome. Something about history or historical novels. Well, we're gonna go with this one, The Venetian Betrayal by Steve Barry, that I'm almost done with. Probably won't finish it today because there's still 80 pages and this is not a fast read. I mean, it's fiction, but they keep talking about, Alexander the Great, so it's definitely got history in it. I guess I could have gone with James Rollins, but, I think I already put him a couple times in here because, he's got all the history archaeological thriller thing too, so that's what we're gonna go with, which seems like it would be good for another prompt on here. But they're calling it the Venetian Betrayal, but there was only like 2 chapters that had anything to do with, you know, Venice or, well, anything in Italy except for the group that is calling themselves like the Venetian League and not of more Italian. They all live in the new Asian Federation. So, yeah, we've got that. Wherefore out there, art thou Verona, over, yeah, romance books, literary fiction, ill-fated lovers. And this is when we get really creative. Because, well, it's literary fiction. It's freaking hilarious, but there is kind of a romance in here. And it is very ill-fated. We start off with this poor self-proclaimed beta male that's like very shy, very nerdy, very not particularly attractive, and accidentally gets the hot girl because, he comes in pathetic and she thinks he's joking. Like, oh my gosh, he's not. Okay, well, it's kind of pathetically adorable. And they have a kid. She doesn't survive having the kid. And then there's another relationship later that is, yeah, how that plays out is definitely ill-fated. And just wrong from the very get-go, but that's what makes it so awesome. So, and plus, it's Christopher Moore. You cannot go wrong with the Christopher Moore books, so y'all need to know about him. And he's gonna be in here a little bit too, because, yeah. Told y'all I'm getting creative with these. Prompt 3. For Florence, Brushstrokes, and Botticelli. Books about art and music or artists. Back to back Christopher Moore. And this one is actually legit. It is about an artist in France. And the color blue. And yeah, I'm not going to take off this flap. I'm going to take a little, thing from Matthew, the man with the hat who reads. And we're going to keep this on to cover up what's under here because she naked. And I'm not sure I can get away with that. But yep, this one fits. It is very much about, art and a demon. Because, we can't just be proper and posh. Again, this is Christopher Moore. Probably my least favorite book by him, but I've still read it, I think, at least twice. Yeah. There's no, it's Christopher Moore. It is inappropriate. It is fun. Prompt 4. Sicily, Myths of Mount Etna. Mythology, fantasy, and sci-fi books. It doesn't get much more fantasy than Tolkien, because I really don't read a lot of fantasy or sci-fi. Mythology is mixed into quite a few things, but I mostly read those off Kindle Unlimited, and I'm trying to be good and read what I own, or at least, what I download for free instead of paying for subscriptions. So we're going with Children of Hurin, which I've read this once. I tried to read some of his other stuff and I struggled. This one was not my favorite, but it feels kind of cheating. I'm already using Tolkien. I wasn't gonna do Hobbit or straight up Lord of the Rings, even though we all know I could, because I love me some Hobbit, and I'm trying to reread Lord of the Rings. Why is that set and funny? Oh, it's because there's a color page in there. It's pretty. Shows you how long it's been since I've tried to read that. The Bolognes Chronicles, food-themed books. Again, we're getting a little cheater on this one. Dana Ivanovich, Visions of Sugar Plums. Because she is always eating in her books. There's a lot of scenes that take place around mom's kitchen. Yeah. It's like, we're going to have snacks in the kitchen or we're having family dinner. And we've got to disappear for. Oh, you're going to come back over here for mommy to tuck you in? Is it hard to tuck yourself in over there? There you go. It's like, well, it's hard to move the blanket when you're doing it with your nose, mama. And it's bright, and it's afternoon, so it's nap time. But yeah, this is our, Christmas themed one. So, of course, there's lots of, family foods because you can't have Christmas without food. From Sardinia with Love, thriller, adventure, spy, heist books. Now, this one I got, it was more of what do I want to pick? So, of course, we're going with James Rollins, my favorite. I've got a lot of fallback authors for when I'm waiting for a new one of his, but archaeological, action packed thrillers go all around the world. Yeah, often the bad guys in the best ways. Your billions can't save you from your own evil projects. Yes. And this one is, we have this rich tycoon that's, happily murdering a bunch of people in Africa so that he can get the land for cheap to exploit it. In the end, it's just so satisfying. But yep, this was book 16 in the Sigma Force novels. 18 came out last year. We haven't heard about 19, but it's usually a book a year, so I'm hoping for my birthday there will be another one. But yes, all things James Rollins definitely fit that category. Venice in a gondola with Casanova, forbidden love affairs. It does not get much more forbidden than, hey, witchy, keep your amulet on, keep yourself hidden from the devil. Oops. This is the second book in the series, I think. No, this is the first one. I was like, it's a trilogy. I've got two. For some reason, I thought I had the second, the third. The third one I got from the library. But there's murder, because it's a dark YA novel that gets a little bit grown towards the end. But witchy sisters end up, one of them hooks up with the devil that they're supposed to be avoiding after some murder's gone wrong. And I will find out who did this. If I gotta, hook up with him to do it, then that's what we gonna do. So, I'd say that's kind of forbidden when the whole family went, nope. Except for they didn't tell them very much because, of course, they always try to keep secrets. And that works so well with teenagers and young ones. And I just realized this would kind of have worked for the last prompt. Kind of. Oh, well, because it also takes place partially in hell, but it's also partially in Italy. Because they're Italian, small town, and then they end up in hell. Because when you hook up with the devil, he kind of makes you go home with him. Naples never sleeps. Mystery, horror, gothic books. These ones I have. Dane Koontz, Dark Rivers of the Heart. I have not read this one yet. Hey, Alan, you still want to try to do a buddy read of this one? Because I love me some Dean Koontz. I have a bunch of his that I have not read. But unlike Stephen King, if there's a doggy in here, the doggy will be safe. I'm not worried. So, I was gonna pull out Anne Rice, but that seems a little bit cheating, and we already know. That's for me and Elaine in March. So, most of these I have read before except for that one. Tales of Torino La Magica. Ghosts and legends, stories, novellas, short stories, plays, and folklore. I have a lot of vampires and werewolves and demons. I don't think I really have any ghost stories. And as I say that, I am stupid. I have an entire series where the chick sees dead people and solves murders with them. It's the Charlie Davidson series by Dorinda Jones, so I will just leave that as an honorable mention. But I totally blanked on that and went, Kim Harrison. It's a bunch of short stories. Well, it's a collection from Carrie Arthur, L.A. Banks, Susan Crenard, Marjorie M. Liu, and others. And honestly, I'm not sure if I've actually ever read this or not. I really do not remember. But it fits the short stories thing, so there we go. I think I have. Now I have to look at my Goodreads, because that's going to drive me nuts. Did I read this, or was it supposed to be on my TBR bookshelf? Like several other books that I thought I'd read. Ooh, nope. That was supposed to be on my TBR shelf, apparently. Oopsie. I keep adding to my TBR. And Musings in Milan. Any genre. Bonus, or postcard from Italy. A book set in Italy. So, this one, again, I had to kind of stretch. We got Blood Infernal by James Rollins and Rebecca Cantrell. And this is, yeah, he kind of was diving into fantasy a little bit. This is basically how Judas was the first vampire, and now we have others, because, like, really, that blood of Christ, it's blood, and that's what the vampires, drink. It's like, we're not supposed to drink actual human blood. That's a sin. So we drink the blood of Christ. And, there's demons and legion and all this mess, but it alternates between Italy and other places, because, of course, you can't have religious vampires without the Vatican involved. This is the last book in the series because it is a trilogy. And I need to reread this again at some point. So I wasn't sure I was going to like it. And honestly, the first time I read Innocent Blood, or Blood Gospel is the first one. It was, I liked it a lot better the second time around. So I'm like, it's still James Rollins. I'm still going to get the next one. So I'm like, I need to reread the first one. Like, oh, I like it a lot better the second time around. But it's action, it's adventure, it's vampires, it's political intrigue, and it takes place partially in the Vatican and other places around Italy. So, yep. So there we go. There's a very convoluted way of doing that tag. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Are y'all gonna do this? Are you gonna have to cheat as well? And get a little, take some liberties with your answers? So if you've made it this far, you were tagged. And if I've already called you out, I'm going to drop you down below. So hopefully y'all have some fun with this, and I will see you soon. Bye. Happy reading.